The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Cube with Sister Shemiza.
Good morning, and assalamu alaikum. It is 10 o'clock, 16th of December, and you're listening to me, Shemiza, taking you all the way up to 11 o'clock on Where Else. It is the Urban Cube Show, brought to you on Inspire FM 105.1 FM. We are going live and direct to the wonderful people in Luton surrounding areas, Peterborough's Salam Radio and Sheffield's Link FM. Hope you are well, warm and winning wherever you're listening in from this morning. We are live on Facebook. We are always welcoming your questions and your feedback and your wonderful thoughts. So do go onto Facebook Live to catch us there. As always, you can listen back to any of the shows that we do on our Facebook page as well as our webpage as well. And if you want to leave any comments regarding the show, then you're welcome to do so on 07779481822. Now, as always, it's an absolute pleasure to be in your company. I hope you're having a great start to the week and you've had a great weekend. Now the weather, alhamdulillah, a lot better. They were slightly warmer than normal, which was great, and it kind of made me feel a little bit more perky. But the weather hasn't been so good, has it, folks? And it's a conversation I always have with you guys every time I come on a Monday. Now, the show is all about motivating you with inspirational conversations, and the show is about arts and lifestyle. And I have conversation with amazing individuals, many from the Muslim community who are trailblazers in what they do. With the whole purpose of the show is to kind of engage you, motivate you, and get you involved with their projects. Now, as always, I'm very, very humble to be in the presence of many people, but I'm super humble to be in the presence of two particular people who are making such a difference, not just to people around them, but also to our little creatures, animals. Now, if you were on the Rise and Shine show, if you were listening into the Rise and Shine show, you would have heard me give you a little bit of a snippet of what to expect on today's show. Now, on today's show, we are talking about the topic of caring for all creatures, great and small. Now, what does that mean? Well, on today's show, we'll find out why it's important as Muslims, as humans, to take responsibility of animals. And on today's show, we're going to be talking to two esteemed guests of mine who are doing exactly that. They are actually caring for animals. Now, a lot of us have been impacted by the floods, which are not just nationally, but is actually globally as well. The environmental impact of global warming has had detrimental effects on our lives, on our crops, on our buildings, so forth. Now, we've always, there's always support for humans. But what about the support for animals who've been impacted by floods? Now, unfortunately, a lot of animals have been impacted by the torrential rains and the flooding, and so much so that's impacted their well-being, and their lives. They're actually so reliant on our help. And this is what we're going to be talking today about, is supporting animals around us and the responsibility we have as Muslims towards them. I'm delighted to be joined by financial professional and dedicated volunteer of Axa Sanctuary CIC, Axa Riaz, and the absolutely wonderful Sherbano this morning to talk to us about Axa Sanctuary CIC. Now, Axa Sanctuary is registered as a community interest company. It's a not-for-profit organisation dedicated to rescuing and caring for animals in need. It's over to 150 animals, including goats, alpacas, peacocks, pigs, ducks, turkeys, and even a cat. Every life here has been saved from hardship and given a second chance. However, the sanctuary faces a dire crisis. It's currently based in Sharnbrook, which is Lower Sundon, and the property was devastated by flooding last year and has been unable to recover. The animals now stand in waterlogged enclosures, and their well-being is at severe risk as winter approaches. With the grace of Allah, they have secured wild land to relocate the sanctuary, but building enclosures has been slow due to dwindling manpower and relentless weather challenges. Now, Exon Sanctuary is more than just a refuge for animals. Once established, it aims to serve as a place of healing, offering therapy for Sen children and veterans. Its founder, a war veteran himself, envisages a space that gives back to the community for years to come, which embodies the Islamic principle of rahmah for all of Allah's creations. Now, my guests today are here to talk to us about Exon Sanctuary. Now, you might have heard Brother Tariq talking about his experience there. He's actually been down himself, and he has seen firsthand the positive impact it's having through the support of volunteers, but they need more volunteers. On the show earlier with Brother Tariq, we spoke about dreams and visions, and we spoke about having aspirations. And alhamdulillah, my guests today have this aspiration to make a difference to these animals. What they need is skilled hands and generous hearts from the community to help build safe enclosures before the harsh winter sets in. Supporting this mission is an act of compassion and a service that echoes the prophetic teaching, whoever is merciful, Allah will be merciful to them. Together, we can save lives and build a sanctuary for hope for both animals and people, inshallah. And these beautiful words have come from my guests themselves, who are embodying that with their beautiful support and giving their time and effort for these animals who are so needy, subhanallah, and they need your help. They need our help. So it's an absolute pleasure to be in the company of dedicated volunteer, Axa Riaz and Sister Sherbano this morning. Assalamu alaikum, sisters.
Wa alaikum salam, Sister Shemiza. How are you?
I'm very, very well, even better in your company. And Sister Axa, how are you?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wa alaikum assalam. I'm good too. I'd like to start in the name of most gracious, most merciful, and indeed the most compassionate. Once again, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Shemiza, and peace and blessings be to all your listeners. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Brother Tariq and Brother Zahid, yourself and Sister Sherbano, for making this all happen. Because I truly believe Allah is the best. Of course, He's the best of planners, and He has put you all at the perfect spot in the journey of this sanctuary. So, Jazakallah khair for inviting me here. Yeah.
We are absolutely humbled to be in your presence for the beautiful work that you're doing. And Sister Sherbano, how are you, my dear?
I'm fantastic. I'm energized. Getting involved in this this charity thing, it has been amazing for me myself as a for my well-being, to be honest with you. Just getting out there in the elements and enjoying the fresh air. And the project is so great. It's beyond me, to be honest with you, beyond anybody who's currently involved in this initiative. And that's why, to be honest with you, we're here today. I've now myself been there twice, and I've got this bug of keep going back there every day. And I know the end goal is to bring those animals over to Sundon Park and house them well, feed them well, and currently they're not in very good conditions, and this is the reason why I'm inspired to support this cause. Sister Shemiza, you know me as well. We've been together doing other events, so me as a person, if there's somewhere I can help, I'll be there. And I've known Sister Axa for a while now, and when she told me about this initiative, you know, I couldn't say no. And then I spoke to Brother Tariq about it, and he came and saw us, which was really fantastic, because unless you come out and visit the place, you won't truly understand what we're trying to achieve. Currently, we've got a barren land. There's a lot of work to be done on that land. We've got animals that need to be fed. We need donations for the food. Look, subhanallah, we are able to get food ourselves. We've got people around us to help us if we don't have it. For animals, they're, again, relying on us. They're relying on the volunteers there. What little money they have, they literally give all the money they have to them. Now, we as the Muslim community here in Luton, I know, mashallah, we can come together, and when we come together big time. And that's why I'm here today. I want the listeners here to understand what they will be achieving by helping us and helping the animals.
Now, Sister Sherbano, you're a notable activist in the community. There isn't anything that you've not motivated, encouraged, or engaged our community to get involved in, mashallah. And you actually do bring in the troops to help people with projects and help those in need. Now, you're a force to be reckoned with, I have to say, and thank you so much for introducing this project to us, to Brother Tariq. And he did say, he did share earlier on the Rise and Shine show how you guys got involved. I'm going to ask Brother Tariq to come and sit here with us for a moment. That moment when Sister Sherbano actually said to you, get involved, because you shared that story with me and I had to giggle. But he giggled at you thinking, why do I want to help the animals when we need to help, like, you know, those more in need, humans? But he said something very significant in your words which really touched me, and share that story once again with us, Tariq.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you guys? You okay?
We are indeed.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, as you know, and obviously all the listeners probably, with the stuff that we do at Inspire FM, we are always trying to help with as much as we can, and of course with all the different projects that we can. And you're putting the wrong mic. That's fine. Might have the wedge coming in to adjust the mics. I think it was a little loud. I think with projects out there, there's never a project that we here at Inspire FM say no to. So whether it's the local masjids needing help, whether it's a local Luton food bank, or whatever it is, we always trying to help as best as we can. And when this project was initially mentioned by Sherbano, I kind of laughed it off, to be honest, thinking, you know what, we've got enough people to help, and obviously at the dinner where we're helping at Gaza, we've got obviously children dying of hunger, and here these are asking me to help animals. And I was thinking, I
remember that very well.
we've got enough on our hands. And one thing that Sister Sherbano said that really kind of hit me, and she's saying, well, everyone else can ask for help, and these Bezaban animals can't. And obviously that's
what does Bezaban mean?
The speechless, I guess, the ones that can't speak. And I guess it's so true, because from an animal perspective, they can't tell you they're hungry, they can't tell you they're cold, they can't tell you the feelings that they're going through. But surely when they are going through struggle, they are struggling as well. And sometimes when you watch, especially, sometimes you watch these weird, different animal programs and stuff, and you'll see a particular, say for example, there's a snake or something trying to attack, little baby chickens or whatever, and you can see the mother panicking and thinking, how can I help my child? And it's the same panic any mother would have. And you can imagine maybe, and I think they were saying yesterday, there's quite a lot of young animals there as well, and I'm sure the parents of those animals are thinking, how can I help my young ones?
Absolutely.
So I think there's a lot of struggle out there, and I think if we can help, there's definitely a lot we can do. I think from yesterday's visit, what I learned was the fact that it's not a huge task, to be honest. It's not a huge task. It just needs to be organized, and I think we do need the community to come together, but it's not something that's not doable. If it's a situation we went there and we were trying to, I don't know, build the pyramids in a week, it's not going to happen. We've got 3 months, and alhamdulillah, there's already a lot of supporters behind it, and financially, to be honest, they've got a lot of the stuff already. It just needs to be transported over, and I think that they're at a good place, and I think it just needs a bit of support, inshallah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brother Tariq, for sharing your insight, because you actually went there, you saw it in your own eyes. And we know that Brother Tariq, he's somebody who does go out of his way to check what the project is before he gets our listeners to be involved. He's given the go-ahead, guys. He's given the green light. Now let's hear it from our wonderful Axa Riaz, who's actually a dedicated volunteer for Exon Sanctuary CIC. You're the lady who's kind of started this conversation between Sherbano, Brother Tariq, and now myself. And thank you so much for introducing this noteworthy, valuable service to our creatures.
Not like I said, I think thanks to all of you guys for just putting out there. Because to be honest, like this animal sanctuary is a haven for rescued animals, retirees, and those no longer care, are being able to care due to the owner's health or circumstances. And so, you mentioned Sharnbrook. So currently the animals are in Sharnbrook, which is outskirts of Bedfordshire. So sort of about an hour and a half, I would say at the most, it's a drive away. And they're moving to Lower Sundon. So the new place we found is just outside Luton in Lower Sundon. So it's not far. It's not far for your listeners. So we are actually hoping that the people also, not just in Luton, but near Sharnbrook, if they can hear us, then they can, lend us some assistance too.
When you mean Sharnbrook, you mean like near Bedford? Bedford, yes, because we do have listeners in Bedford area, I presume.
Yeah, it's
Indeed.
just outskirts of
so
Bedford.
If we've got any listeners listening from Bedford, if there's any support that you can help us with, just simple tasks as feeding the animals in the morning and the evening takes up a lot of time travelling from Luton and back. So if we were able to get volunteers even there, they could support us with just feeding maybe the animals in the morning and then coming back and feeding the animals in the evening, that would free up it would free up some of the work volunteers who are having to travel out in the morning first there to feed the animals, then travelling back, then working on the land. And also we need, we're waiting for deliveries. We're looking for donations for if people have any spare materials in their gardens. I mean, I worked yesterday and the day before. On my first day, somebody in Sundon Park had contacted us and said they had bricks. And, I went with Sister Axa and actually involved my husband and my sister. And we travelled out to this house.
You can't say no to you, Sherbano.
I'm dragging people in slowly. And, we spent, a good few hours just because we haven't got we haven't got a trailer to pick the items up in one go. Okay. So we had something that could be done in one go. It may take us 3 goes to do it, but we're doing it. At the end of the day, we're doing it. So, we went, a nice lady, she opened the door to us. We went into her garden, and then she goes, when she knew what we was doing, she thought the course was fabulous. She's like, look in my shed. I'm sure I've got some timber in there, and that was so kind of her. We went there and, we found some timber in there. So we brought the timber back.
Well, how lovely it is to, build community. You're connecting with new people, you're sharing the love, you're sharing the energy, and you're helping people get rid of stuff in their sheds that they need to get rid of for free. Axa, I want to ask you, my dear, how did you begin this journey? I mean, I can hear a bit of a Scottish twang in your accent. So how did you end up in Luton? How did you end up at the sanctuary?
Well, to be honest, I never expected me to be involved in such a project where animal rescue is taking place. However, by the will of Allah, I stumbled upon a next door. There was a call out basically by a lady called Amanda who worked for the Feline Rescue Centre, and she put a call out for about 40 volunteers showed up eventually, but she said on the 17th of August, we've got some land. We need to have that cut down to be able to house an animal sanctuary. And I didn't know much about it, but there was something about that just drew me towards it. And subhanAllah, when I got there were, like I said, 40 people from different backgrounds, different faiths, ages, and the energy they carried while doing this work and the place itself, I was just in awe. And the whole, then I just stayed there. There was just, from day one, I was there. And this 17th of August, I just want to quickly mention here. So one of the sisters, she bought some chocolate brownies. I've not seen her since then. I do, if she's listening to it, please do come back. Because not often you find chocolate brownies.
Don't worry, Sister Axa. My daughter actually makes brownies. I'll be bringing some, so don't worry.
But no, they brought in food. They brought in their loppers, the shearers and anything, and in trimmers to just come help with them.
That sounds so lovely. But what drives you to do this, Axa, in the dreadful weather? It's it's easy in the summer when the sun's out and you want an activity to do, but in the winter when it's cold and it's muddy, what drives you to do that, Axa? Where does this energy come from?
Like I said, initially, just this project, I didn't see myself doing it. But when I saw the founders, there's a gentleman named Wayne and Kenny. These are the two guys who started up. When I saw their perseverance, their passion, and again, like I'm thinking, okay, when I'm collecting donations, like Sister Sherbano said, I've been collecting donations from, you name it, sand, gravel, to, tires, car tires for the goats to jump on. Because anything and everything we know we can use it, and hula hoops. And when I'm seeing all these generous people, and what connects them is their love for animals. When I see all that, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, wait till Muslim community hears about this. Wait till, the passion which those people bring for the sake of animals, and what Wayne and Kenny has gone through, despite all the hardship, they are in there in rain, with just getting in there, building the sanctuary, because they know that they can't wait. The animals cannot wait. When I see all that, and then I just feel that Allah has given me all this strength, Alhamdulillah, and He's given me the time, He's given me the strength, and so what is it that I can do for these animals? And we talk about, it's a dawah in its own form through your actions. And I think, this is what I'm hoping, okay, if I can inspire other folk, who are listening to it, and they can come in. And it is, as in the Quran and through our prophets' teachings, caring for animals is a form of worship. And Allah has made it so easy for us to attain Jannah through this type of worship. So I feel that I should come and, not only do it for myself, but go ahead and give other people this news. Look how easy it is.
And the opportunity as well to gain the barakah.
Of course. And a lot of us have animals, if nothing, even cats. So, there is that compassion already there. But,
But how receptive, Axa, has the Muslim community been to this, though? Let's be honest. How receptive do you think? Is this something that is new for our communities to understand about animal welfare?
This is like I said with Sister Sherbano, I was meaning to come because I knew, okay, the Muslim community needs to hear about it. How can I just put it out there? And I was hoping to come and speak with you guys. Then when I spoke with Sister Sherbano and Brother Zahid, I was overwhelmed, to say the least, on that day at the charity event, how these folk just went, yes, people, these guys opened their hearts, their planners and everything. They had so many ideas within space of the 10 minutes. I remember there was Brother Tariq stood there, Sister Sherbano on one side, Brother Zahid and another gentleman, and boom, 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 all these questions. We can do this, we can do that. And I was just speechless. And so that is just fine.
I can actually reaffirm that, because she just went quiet. She was just so overwhelmed. She looked at me and she just touched her chest and she goes, I can't believe this is going to happen. I just can't believe it. I go, you wait, sister. You wait. I'm going to, connect you to the right people and speak to the right people. And I know the community in Luton are very caring, and I know they jump up whenever you ask for help. This initiative is probably quite new for them. And what I want to say that is, once this is completed, it is a non-profit organisation, and we aim to open this up to the community for the vulnerable, for children with special needs. It's going to be a real hub of the community.
It's holistic, isn't it? There's so many benefits from this.
When you go, when I just go and visit that place and I work and I see the people that are volunteering, you know, we all have our hardship, we all have our pressures, and we all have our troubles. But when you're out there in the element and you're doing something good, you just feel happy.
It's a natural release of
no
happy
matter what,
hormones, because there's goodness.
Yeah, there's natural. You know, there's a saying, earthing. When you're out in the element that God has created for us, it's called earthing. Now, if you have anxiety and if you have depression and you've got all these worries, you come out and you just work the land and you help us with it. It's a natural, holistic way of feeling great.
It sure is. And we're going to be talking more about Axa Animal Sanctuary, CIC, straight after the break, where Sherbano and Axa will join me and we'll find out how you guys can get down there and provide some voluntary support as well. We're heading to a break, folks. Do not go away. Come back with a cup of tea, maybe, and a biscuit or two, and join me on the second part of the Urban Cube. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Atif Nawaz. Listen to Inspire FM shows in your time by heading over to inspirefm.org or listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Catch a creative vibe on the Urban Cube with Sister Shemiza.
It's an absolute pleasure to be in your company this morning. Thank you so very much for joining me on the Urban Cube show. The time is 10:30. We are going out to the wonderful people of Luton surrounding areas, Peterborough and Salam Radio. Today's show, we are talking about all creatures, great and small, and how we as Muslims can provide them support. On our show, I am joined by two wonderful guests who are doing exactly that, providing animal rescue and animal welfare care through volunteering with Axa Sanctuary, which is a not-for-profit organisation. I'm joined by wonderful sisters Sherbano and Axa Riaz. Now, Axa Riaz is a volunteer, a dedicated volunteer for this animal rescue sanctuary. Axa, assalamu alaikum. Pleasure to be in your company this morning. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, by grace of God, I am well.
Thank you so very much for joining me, and also joined by no other than a very notable individual of the Luton community is no other than Sister Sherbano.
Assalamu alaikum, sister.
We were discussing quite intently and in a lot of detail about the sanctuary, Axa Sanctuary. You are here today to kind of get some support from the community of Luton and surrounding areas to kind of come down to Sharnbrook or the new place, I believe it's in Lower Sundon, to provide assistance, manual labour, voluntary time. So tell us, Axa, what is it that you'd like the community of Luton to do today, and how can they connect with you to provide this assistance for the sanctuary?
Okay, thank you. So really, we are gone past the stage where we just need to cut the grass and trees, etc. So that's been dealt with since August this year we started. So we are now at the stage where we need to actually build the enclosures. So this is where we do need, well, first of all, we've got material, so it's not just, not necessarily the money which we're after, it is the know-how and the people with skills, and the actual building material is what we're needing. So donations we've been collecting at the moment, surplus of any leftover, and we're talking just domestic wise, but this is a call for those who can be our lifeline really, and those tradesmen, for example, or the DIY shops, hardware stores, if you have any timber, for example, gravel, sandbags, etc. The things which we would need to nuts and bolts actually to be on door handles, things like that.
Anything
Just
and anything. So,
anything,
Axa,
yeah.
how can people then get in contact with you? Is there a Facebook page for Exon Sanctuary?
So most of the time the people are connecting, we have got an official email address, so which we tend to put out on there, and I will pass that on to you afterwards. But it is Exon, so it's ECKSON-CIC.org. So that's our official email where people can just send it with the subject as a donation, and then we will be able to get in touch with them, and then so they get, that's where they tend to just find out. Well, the issue we have also is the logistics sides to it. So we, like I said, they're just volunteers. I mean, they're just domestic cars. So there's a difficulty on carrying large amount of them. So if people can deliver those items direct to the sanctuary, then we will be able to, through the email, we'll be able to tell them the location. Because right now the sanctuary itself is not fully secure.
Okay.
So to avoid unwanted, unwelcome visitors.
See, this is a question I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
How easy is it to get to, and are there opening hours? Are there dedicated hours that people are expected to be there?
At the moment, because everything needs to be done, the two gentlemen, Wayne and Kenny, are there from 11 o'clock. It's the light, unfortunately. So due to it being winter, so as soon as it gets dark, they have no choice but to leave. So they tend to be there from 11 o'clock till 3:30. Okay. But somebody will always be there from 10 o'clock to receive any deliveries, etc. So if there is somebody who says, okay, you know what, I can come make it. I live 5-10 minutes away. Even I'll come and just accept the deliveries.
So on a Sunday, you guys went together. So is there a time that you come together? Sherbano, you went on Sunday.
Can I just mention the reason it's 11 o'clock, which Axa said, was because Ken and Wayne actually have to go and feed the animals first. So they wear many hats basically. But we tend, if we expecting a delivery, somebody said they want to deliver, somebody will always be there to open the gate and let them in. I just wanted to mention that.
Because, they have to travel, like Sister Sherbano said earlier, if those people who are near Sharnbrook can offer assistance to feed the animals, say, for example, that would take, free up some time for these guys. Because what they're doing is every morning they have to go over to Sharnbrook to feed the animals, then come back here an hour something, depending on the traffic. They get here by 11 o'clock, do whatever you're going to do. And another thing is we need some site containers, because they have to load their the equipment, unload in Houghton Regis, etc. So if we had equipment, like for example just a site container, if somebody has one, they're willing to donate it, we will take it. Just think of a barren, like you said, land, just plain land, and then think how can it be turned into a sanctuary. Like you said earlier, we need anything and everything, so think whatever those, so like and then when it gets dark they have to go back to Sharnbrook to go feed the animals. So it's
now people might be curious or wondering, why do animal welfare rescue organisations who have funding support this sanctuary? Is the sanctuary getting any other assistance?
At this moment of time, because it's quite a new one. So how it began, I'll just tell you a little bit behind the story. It all started with a gentleman named Kenny, and he had obviously a passion for animals, and it stemmed from his training in animal care at SEN school himself. While attending an open day an animal farm, he fell in love with the experience and began volunteering there around 3 times a week. Right. He already had finches, parrots, and canaries himself. But his mom, when it happened in COVID, is when she was classed as one of those vulnerable people. So she couldn't have the animals there. So he reached out to his friend Wayne, which is the other gentleman, and he said, well, he had a bit of space in his garden. So he moved the animals over there. I'm sorry, I say animals, the birds, and they sort of built an aviary. And that's where the whole project went into another dimension. And he put a call out on a website called Pre-Love to say, okay, well, guys, through COVID, they found that there were people who were, for example, frontline carers, NHS staff, even army veterans, they had other jobs, which meant that they could no longer care for the animals because they were always away from home. And they responded to Pre-Loved, the call out to say, okay, well, these animals, we can no longer look after them. So each animal has its own story. Has its own story as to where they came from, and so that's the background of it. And
and here you are talking to us about it.
It's very easy to find. When they call us, when contact us, we tell them the location. Like I said, at the moment, because it's at early stages,
of course.
there
needs to be an element of trust as well. How do
you
you vet people? How do you know that there are people that actually have genuine compassion for the animals? And are you open to everybody coming through to volunteer? Is there a vetting system? How does it work?
To be honest, cutting the grass, there wasn't much needed doing. And there are people, mashallah, they've got big hearts. But it was just now we need to sort of narrow it down to people with certain skills. For example, we've got enclosures which need the base, so we need bricklayers, for example. Even if they can, a weekend is mostly, I would imagine, people have free time, and especially with the Christmas, New Year, they'll have free time. So even if they can spare a few hours that weekend and just give us the know-how. I mean, I tried my hand at bricklaying, but apparently
she wasn't any good.
just stick to talking. But but it is what it is. And those who can build pens, for example, who've had some experience with woodwork. And so it's just things like that. And those who, for example, have access to a trailer, who are in is a towing business, car transport, and we need one of them to be able to collect the material from Sharnbrook and bring it over to here, because that's the biggest hurdle at the moment.
The question I want to ask Sherbano, what have you been doing on the farm?
Let me tell you a funny story, Sister Shemiza. So I've been there for 2 days now. Now, yesterday I dragged my husband, Anwar Jalil, from Corker Cars, and then I brought my sister. I had to get that in, and then I dragged my sister in, and then also I contacted my friend, ex-councillor Yasmin Wahid. She came with us. Now we all went there, and they tackled us. They said to us, we said, right, what do you want us to do? They go, right, go over there. That tree needs to be cut down, whatever. And I think Kenny had the lawnmower. Now, we've used lawnmowers at home, yes, but this was something else. So Sister Yasmin said to me, oh, do you know what? I don't think I can do heavy labour. I want to do something light. I said, no problem. So I called the guy. I said, do you mind if Sister Yasmin does the lawn mowing? And she goes, yeah, no problem. So Sister Yasmin was very happy to do that. Lo and behold, she regretted it, I have to say. So basically, I went over to tackle the tree with Sister Yasmin, my husband and my sister. She came back to me. She goes, Sister Sherbano, you know this lawnmower? It's dragging me across the field. My shoulders are hurting. I think I'm going to die. So I said, okay. So then my husband goes, don't worry, I'll do it. So he grabs this lawnmower, right? He's doing it, and something is happening to him. So he's thinking, he's come up to me. He goes, my shoulders are hurting. I don't know what's going on. So he's doing it, and then I think Kenny, he goes, mate, that lawnmower is self-drive. So for 3 or 4 hours that we were there, we were in pain because we didn't know how to use the equipment. And that just emphasises how much we're in need of skilled labour, skilled workers. There's loads of people out there are more than welcome to come and help. We've got fences to be painted, loads of small bits to do, carrying gravel from one end of the field to the other end of the field. But if we had people with skills, this project can be fast forwarded quite quickly. Now we've got till March to complete this project. We've got March until March.
And all this weather.
And all this weather's not helping. We have a lot of equipment in Sharnbrook that needs to be transported here. We don't have the equipment to do this. I mean, one gentleman comes in with a tiny little trailer, which we used the other day to bring bricks from a nice lady who donated it to us, and we took us 2 rounds to do that. Now, I know Christmas is coming up, and if anybody's got any spare time, now I spoke to Brother Tariq, and he said he's more than happy. He's got like a week or 2, he's got 10 days or something. He said he's going to come and he's going to help us as much as he can.
Now, Brother Tariq has just recovered from a severe knee injury, and the fact that he's coming down, that's amazing.
And that's because he went there and he saw the need. He saw that the animal is for the animals that can't speak.
And do you know, Sherbano, do you have a favourite animal? Do you have any favourite ones?
I love all animals. You know, I personally, the only thing I don't like is snakes. They terrify me. But doesn't mean I hate them. I wouldn't look after. We have peacock, we have llamas, goats,
alpacas, goats. Yeah.
And this is lovely for, I mean, families to maybe come out and have a family activity. Come and volunteer. Let's volunteer. The children get to see the animals, the parents get to have some time with them. Definitely. I know it's not a holiday. This is not I have to kind of stress, this is not
you need to have appropriate clothes.
Appropriate
clothes, shoes, footwear.
Definitely. Please share more, Axa, about attire.
No, I was just going to also mention, I mean, yes, you're right. Okay, I'll mention the attire first. Is the fact that at the moment the place, like we said, it was a field, it's uneven grounds. So, again, luckily, I before this project even began, a month or 2, out of nowhere, I just bought hiking boots because they were on sale. I was just like, oh, go on then. This offer it's too good to be missed. And they were just sat there, maybe worn them a couple of times just to try them out. Yeah. And then now almost it's like they were meant to be. So anyway, I digress. So yeah, if you can, but we do have overalls. We've got the equipment, the paintbrushes, etc. It's just your footwear or the clothes which you're thinking, okay, you know what, I could do with them. Yeah.
I mean, funnily enough, my scarf, I just realised I've still got paint on it. I just turned it inside out, but it's still got paint on it. But yeah, it is. If you wash it off, it's outdoor paint, water. You'll be able to wash it. But just talking about the sanctuary itself, this sanctuary is different from typical charities. It's not just about giving money or goods. It's about giving time and energy, like Sister Sherbano said. You will get to see the direct impact of your efforts. And this place will give back to the community by offering animal therapy for, like Sister Sherbano said earlier, is the animal therapy for SEN children and army veterans and people facing hardship and trauma. And not necessarily just that, but even for those people who are not in distress, the joy of grooming and spending time with animals is uplifting and rewarding. And it's a unique chance for Muslim community to embody the Islamic ethos of mercy, like we're talking about, rahmah, and care, while also benefiting themselves from the therapeutic environment and the sanctuary will provide, inshallah. So
definitely, it's purposeful.
Yeah, their motto is, like you mentioned, CIC. It's a community interest company, not for profit, and their motto is that in the community, for the community.
Indeed. And on Inspire FM, we are always about positively inspiring the community. So this is a wonderful project that some of our members of Inspire FM are looking forward to engaging with. We did have Brother Tariq go down yesterday, and he's coming again. He'll attend and hopefully bring some volunteers down as well to support excellent sanctuary.
Can I just make a shout out? We do need help for the feed for the animals. Now currently people that are volunteering are putting any extra money they have for the feed. It's costing us about £1,000 a month for this feed, and we're paying for it ourselves. And as they say, more hands make light work. If we can get some kind of regular donation in, or if anybody in that area's got any extra, hay, things like this, we are currently paying for it ourselves, and everyone has a budget. But if we can all get together and manage to, on a monthly basis, try to build. If we had 20 volunteers giving us £50 a month, that would just cover it. That would free the money that we're spending on the feed onto something else. So that is really, really important, that we need donations for the food or money so that we can help pay for the food. We need logistics, we need craftsmen, we need transportation to be able to get the animals over into Sandon Park area. So currently they're housed somewhere else. That area is really waterlogged. It's very, very difficult. So the vehicles we need to be able to cope with that.
Yeah, strong.
It is it's going to be quite a logistic job to actually have in. Even we've got like a few tractors or whatever. Even that getting out that muddy field is quite a job. So anybody out there who've got vehicles that can support us, we would really appreciate that.
Large vehicles.
Because that is going to be the big push. The first push is to get all that equipment over to Sandon Park. We can't do that alone. We're reaching out to the community and businesses. You know, if you've got like a business, you know, collecting cars, trailers, things like that, all this would be amazing help.
Yeah, so big vehicles.
We need to go big to do a big push to bring everything forward.
Then the tradesmen will come in handy because I'm sure people will come forward, say, okay, I've got XYZ skill, but we would be like, oh, well, materials all the way in Sharnbrook, so what we're going to do, so we just need those people who have access to large vehicles or know of somebody, or farmers, for example, with tractors, etc., or just when we're going to need help to move the animals at one stage. So if you've got any horse transport, vehicles, etc. But just one thing I'll add on was that the fact that we were asking for people to come and help, and myself, I'm here as much as I can be. And in order for that to happen, my husband, he's looking after my two little ones, by the grace
a big
of God.
shout out for him, to be honest. Without his support, I know Axa couldn't do it. And she is one of the main person who is organising the deliveries, collecting the deliveries, sometimes doing 5 rounds to go and get this equipment in the back of a car.
Can we go shout out to your wonderful
I think we
husband?
You should see the state of my car. My husband's like, why are you using this car to load of stuff? It's got a shovel at the back and so many bags, etc. So, but I mean, my point is those people who think, okay, I might not be able to go, okay, look after the ones, the little ones, so the other person can go out and go. Because where I remember when it's a similar, you asked me a question earlier about what got me involved or what kept me here, was that when I fell pregnant with my first eldest is Zakaria. Hello to him because he's listening also along with Amana.
Assalamualaikum, Zakaria, and who else?
Amana.
Amana. How are you?
When I was pregnant with him, there was something about earth I just wanted to touch, and it was just about nature, which you mentioned, sister. Yeah, so 9 years later, when I got to that place, and I've heard from other volunteers too, who, for example, there's this gentleman Paul. He's got a bit of woodwork experience, but he's a retired mechanical engineer who built the gates, the gates to open, in his workshop at the back. He was saying the other day that I came here about 8-9 in the morning, just himself, just putting the felt on top of the one of the pen which we created, and just the serenity, the quietness, but yet you can hear the birds, and it was just nature and him alone doing. There's so many things which are happening in our lives, and sometimes you need that time out, and just to go. And this is one of those things where I just needed to go and not think too much, about what I'm doing, because it's all just manual. And everyone's in a similar boat. These people, they're just there for the love of animals, for the love of nature. But the community, anybody who come there, you would love these guys. There's a bunch of ladies who are just doing fundraising, Jackie.
It's the energy. It's energy, isn't it? There's a universal energy here of kindness and mercy.
Amazing.
Can I say, no age is too big or too small. We've got a 93-year-old boy that comes on a regular basis.
I love the way you say 93-year-old boy.
And you know what? He comes out, he knows the benefits of coming out. He gains from it as well as giving to it. And that's just it. When you come to this project, you will gain and you will give.
There's so much love.
What an amazing opportunity.
It sure is, folks. Do take this opportunity that my absolutely wonderful guests today are Sherbano, Jamil, and the wonderful Axa Riaz today are sharing with us. We are talking about no other than Exon Sanctuary CIC. This is an animal sanctuary. It's a wonderful space that is actually enabling these rescued animals to find some solace in their lives and with human kindness and human touch. If you have time, if you have manpower, if you want to provide some donations, please feel free to get in touch with us on Inspire FM. I believe there is a group, there's an email.
There's a WhatsApp, there's a community.
Group.
Yeah, there's a WhatsApp community. If they can give you their phone number, I will be more than happy to add them. If they can just sort of list what the skill there. We've got fundraising, we've got site construction group, we've got, just an animal assistance group also. And they're just various, and I can just add them onto it, and then they can,
Indeed.
feel.
If you have time, folks, especially over the Christmas break that's coming up, then this might be something that you could get your hands and feet into. And it's not just about helping the animals. I'm sure it will also help your well-being too. Just giving your time voluntarily can make such a massive impact on your mental well-being, and it's a feel-good factor too. And just look at what you will be doing by giving that little bit of time and the difference you'll be making for these animals who, as Sherbano and Brother Tariq had quoted us saying, these animals are Bir Zaban. They can't speak for themselves, so we are speaking for them. These wonderful ladies in the studio are speaking for them this morning, asking for your assistance in time, be that manpower, be that volunteering, be that goods. The show you're listening to is the Urban Cube. It's always a pleasure to be in your company, sharing these absolutely poignant projects that are really making a difference in our community. We've got about a minute left, Axa and Sherbano. I'm going to start with Axa. What is it that you'd like to say to our listeners with the final few moments left on the show? We've got about 59 seconds.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so I just wanted to just bring it back to the Quran. And it often refers to animals as sign of Allah's wisdom and mercy, created to serve different purposes for humanity and ecosystem. In chapter 6, verse 38, Allah says that it's not an animal, it's not an animal on the earth, nor a bird that flies with its two wings, but they are communities like you and I. This verse reminds us that animals like humans live in organized community and have their own lives, rights and purposes. Their existence is a testament to Allah's creative power, and to mistreat them is to disregard the trust we have been given as caretakers of on this earth.
Thank you so much, Sister Axa, and thank you, Sherbano, for joining us. It is the end of the show, and assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.